Jersey.
Greetings from Chicago.
Right. You got me up early this morning.
I think we're both have another thing in common. We're both early birds.
Yeah.
So I see some people are joining, so we can maybe wait a few minutes.
We're going to have a party.
Yeah, and I thought we would start out, we could just maybe do a little introduction. I'll introduce myself, and you can introduce yourself so people know who we are. Your friends might not know me, and my friends might not know you.
I don't have any friends.
Okay, our followers.
I got a few. I got a couple. So yeah, I like that, the way that sounds. So.
And it's a very cold day here in Chicago. It's about 7 degrees right now. So I always have a little beverage.
I have water right now.
Okay.
But maybe in a while.
So what time is it now? We have a few followers now. I think I'll just start out with introducing myself, and then we'll get moving. And I'm Chicitybeachgal, Christine, and I live in Chicago. I'm an urban beachcomber. I dig and hunt for treasures on the shores of Lake Michigan. I especially am fond of hunting for vintage marbles, and that's how Stephen and I crossed paths. He's been helping me identify some of my amazing finds. I had a spectacular 2020. I found 193 vintage marbles in and on the shores of Lake Michigan. And I call them my happy pills because they just make me so happy. I mean, it doesn't matter how many I find. I don't think I'll ever get tired of that. The feeling of my eyes spotting a marble either in the water or, in the dirt or rocks. It's just so thrilling for me. It really does make me happy. And there are days that I come home with no treasures, and it really does lift my spirits to find them. So
awesome.
Hello to everybody out there.
Hello.
Go ahead, Stephen.
My name's Stephen Barr. I live in New Jersey, and I played with marbles when I was a child. We used to roll them, like race them down the hill and stuff a lot. And we played, ringer like everyone else. So, but 5 years ago, I was planting some elderberry bushes in the backyard, and I ran into an old kind of homemade dump. People used to dump things before there were landfills up until the 1950s. So someone had buried a bunch of glass bottles, just random trash. And when I was digging a hole, 3 marbles popped out of the hole. And I recognized the patterns and the colors of one of the marbles, and I'm like, I know what that marble is. I remember it from 40 years ago when I was a kid. So it just triggered this, this interest to figure out what it was and how do I connect to this piece. And I started to research it, and sure enough, it was a Vitro Conqueror. And I had my own nicknames for these marbles when I was a kid. So that just sparked my interest in marble collecting. And ever since then, I've really dove in, head first, and
lucky for us,
consumed all this marble identification tips and things. I've connected with a lot of old school people that have taught me quite a bit.
Yeah, I watched on one of your YouTube videos. I love the one video you did where you went out to West Virginia.
Right.
It was
we went to the old factory site and got permission to dig there. They actually had a backhoe. They helped us dig, and we dug right behind the loading dock where they were loading their marbles right out to ship. So, and that helped a lot of the collectors to understand that company more, because if you dig them right there on site, you know that they produce those marbles.
Right,
And
right.
so we can really learn to identify those particular marbles.
I mean, those guys were filling up 5-gallon buckets.
It was disgusting.
Oh God! But anyway,
happy to tag along. But,
right. And I was just reading that book that I happened to come across as a recommendation on your YouTube channel, the American Machine-Made Marbles.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
The history of the different marble companies. I mean, it's just blows my mind. It was such a big industry.
There's a lot to learn. I'm going to be learning for years, and till the day I drop, I'm sure there's just that much. If it was a college course, it would just, you could get a doctorate in it, because there's so much so much to learn.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that, because I think, and another thing also, just to kind of backtrack on what we were talking about earlier, we have these two worlds, the beachcombing world and then your world of the vintage marble collectors, and we both kind of have different, we appreciate them in their
colliding.
different forms, right?
Well,
and but we both want to know what kind of marble they are.
That's true.
Oh, I would love to see those. So this was the one we pulled up on our preview.
Oh, right.
This one here.
That's an Imperial. Imperial was a toy distributor. It called Imperial, and they handled a lot of the Japanese marbles. So that's probably made in China or Japan, and that one's probably 70s or 1960s maybe, and that's an Imperial patch. That's a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
Sometimes the green on those actually has aventurine in them.
Yeah, at first I thought this was, like you said, you made up your names for the marbles. I make up my names to it, and I was calling this Christmas tree.
Oh, cool. I like it.
It's not, but see that little, is that a pontal right there?
No, that's some kind of chip that happened after production. A machine-made marble won't have a pontal.
Okay.
Because a pontal is the point where the glass is cut off a handmade piece.
Mm-hmm.
And machine-made marbles are cut and then instantly rolled, so you won't see what normally we consider a pontal. That's a seam there where all those colors come together. That marble has two seams on it.
Yeah.
If you spin it, you'll see the other seam where those.
Yeah. Well, interesting. So this is an Imperial.
That's an Imperial.
Okay, so let me put this in the identified
pile. The Imperial pile.
Yeah. Oh, this one here, I always call this one my Italy marble.
Oh, all right. I like that. Some people call those, if it's red, white, and blue, they call them Pepsis, because that's the logo color. Mm-hmm. But that's a Vitro Agate, all red, and that's from the probably 1960s. So that marble has a white base on the inside, and those stripes are veneered on the surface.
Mm-hmm. I love that marble.
That also has two seams. They're a very abundant marble. They made millions and millions of those.
Yeah, I love that. How that goes out like that.
So an all red will always have one red pole. You see, you have a red pole, a white equator, and a green pole. So it'll have white, green, white, yellow, white, blue, white, black, but it always has a red pole on the other side.
Interesting. So this is a Vitro all red.
All red, yeah.
Okay. Put that there. Sorry about that. Oh, this is the one you've already ID'd this one for me, but I just found this a couple weeks ago, and of course I was calling that Bumblebee.
Cool. That has great colored glass on it.
Look at the craters on it.
Yeah, right. It has a lot of personality. I think that's an acro patch. Often a patch will have straight seams, and that seam that you just showed that's spinning towards the right is pretty straight.
Oh.
So that's probably 1930s, really high quality glass. That's an Akro Agate. Akro is from Akron, Ohio, and they were a very successful marble company. I think they did they host the World's Fair in the 30s?
No, that was Master. I think that was Master Marble Company.
I know Master did did one in the 40s, but I think Akro was was there a Chicago World's Fair in the 30s as well?
Yeah, 1933.
I think they were at that one.
Yeah, and could be from that time.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful marble, and I just love, of course, like we were saying earlier, your people will be like, what are all those god-awful marks on there? But
I appreciate that, though.
I mean,
I don't really have any sea marbles, but they are really neat.
So this is an acro patch from the 19. I'm going to get this one a little wet so we can see all the coloring in it, because I think the coloring in this one is so beautiful.
That's a pretty piece. That's a Vitro Agate as well. That's called a Blackie. And Blackies will have a white interior base glass. And then they'll have a black equator. You see that black that goes
right there.
It's offset, but that's the black equator. And then it has two matching poles. So you'll see Blackies.
So like the red on this side and the red on that side.
Right, they're matching colors. You'll see those in blue and green and, you know, the basic primary colors. That's a 1960s Vitro Blackie marble.
Oh, I love that one.
They're harder to find than the all reds.
On this side, it's more orange. And on this other side, it's more red. So
what happens is, because those are veneered colors, it's getting worn. The colors was getting worn off. It's a very thin veneer on that of color on that surface of that marble.
Okay.
So maybe it looks orange because it's getting worn off.
So you think you think the same time period around the 1960s?
Yeah, they were introduced in the 60s, I think, maybe the late 50s. They were marketed as Blackies. That was not a nickname, but an actual marketing name.
You know, I have a lot of red, white, and blue marbles. And this one, I think...
Oh, there's the Pepsi.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that one out because this is kind of a familiar marble.
Yes, that's another all red. So that one has a blue pole instead of the green one like your other.
So I wanted to also, this is just another red, white, and blue one I have.
Okay. So that one is an acro on the right.
Mm-hmm. And what is the one on the...
That's a two-seam marble. You'll see it has another seam on the other side of it.
And then I'm going to put...
Just a general acro. Oh, the one on the left? Can you give that a twirl?
Yes.
One? Huh. Can you put your finger on it and just spin it? Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful Peltier Rainbow.
Yeah, I love that one.
It, right?
Yes.
That's a Peltier Rainbow. That's post-World War. That's probably 40s or 50s. That's a nice, it has three colors on it. That's
yes.
Nice.
So isn't it interesting? I have a lot of red, white, and blue marbles. These are just three of, that I happen to pick up.
Right.
But aren't those just...
swirly rainbow. That's got a nice pattern on it.
Yeah, so I have that one, and then, so these are what, all 30?
Three different companies, three competitors actually. Now that one, that is, give that a little spin as well. Yeah, that's a Peltier Peerless patch. They call them PPPs for short. That's a cool marble. They have really bright, brilliant quality glass. That's an early Peltier. That's beautiful. I love that. That's
I
great.
love that one
That's
too.
a great color combination. That's a Peerless patch.
Very nice.
Very
So
nice.
I wanted to pull out some different red, white, and blue ones.
Yeah, it's your show.
All right. Here is the next marble I have.
Ah, you got to give that a twirl as well.
Oops.
So that is an Akro Corkscrew marble.
Isn't it beautiful?
If you follow that orange swirl around, it'll wind its way around the marble like a corkscrew, like a barbershop pole.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's an Acro corkscrew. Has a nice color pattern too. That's probably 1930s, 20s, 30s, 40s.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, moving along. What was? Oh, this one is very. This one here. Very good.
Can you? Yeah, do that.
Or maybe.
So that looks like another Peltier rainbow. They call them rainbows.
Yeah, it's black.
Yeah,
it's
black, white, and red. That's looks good for Peltier.
Okay, I love those.
Post World War II, so 40s, 50s.
Oh, this one here is just one of my favorite marbles.
Oh, cool. So Peltier used Coke bottle cullet. They ground up old Coke bottles.
Oh yeah.
And that's what that is. That's also a rainbow. That's rainbow is a very general term. But that has Coke bottle glass in the base.
Yeah, you can tell, and I have a Coke bottle in the background there.
There you go. So that's a rainbow. That's also post World War II.
Yeah, I love that one. And this is just another one. It's so frosted that I can't really, unless it's wet, see the, so speaking of Coke bottles, I talked a little bit last week about, did a bottle talk, and this marble here I dug up it was laying right next to the Coke bottle. That's a Christmas Coke bottle. So this is a shooter size marble here.
Oh. So that looks like another corkscrew that they call Onyx corkscrew because it has that translucent colored base. That's a pretty marble.
Yeah, I love that one.
Nice corkscrew Onyx. That's a great piece. That's also.
Yeah, I was so surprised, and it's in pretty good shape because, like I said, the dirt really protected it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I love
that. Ready for display.
Yeah, I always keep it on top of the Coke bottle.
That's a good display.
What do we got here, Stephen?
So that's also a vitro. And that's called the Conqueror. That's the same type of marble that I was explaining earlier when I said that I had found some marbles in my backyard.
Oh.
In the hole. Those are pretty abundant. They made a lot. That was in great numbers. Vitro made a marble called the Conqueror, and it was right at World War II, and they used that name. I don't know because it was wartime, and
right. Oh yeah.
patriotic nickname for.
I love this one. Like if you look, like this kind of like lighter blue. I love that.
That marble has a clear base,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's white brushed at the surface, and then a blue patch. And they'll have different colored patches, but they'll always have that white brushed surface on a clear base. That's
interesting.
Nice piece.
Okay, so hey, I wanted to show you a couple. Like you have that glass, the cullets. Look at these. Look at this. It's like a half of a marble. But look at I love that you can see the different colors inside.
That looks like colored as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And look at this one. And it was probably just bonfire. Look at this.
Oh, right. So it's going back to its raw state where it's just a big blob, you know?
Yeah. And then, like I said, I showed this earlier in the preview, this beat up German swirl.
Right. They do look like they were melted back a little bit.
Oh, what is this one? Can you identify that one?
Oh, that's a Marble King. Yeah, that's a Marble King.
Yeah.
That has 2 seams as well.
Mm-hmm.
The nickname for that is Dragonfly because it has green and
Oh.
So that's a Marble King Dragonfly. That's probably 1960s.
Well, I don't want to get too carried away. I could stay here and keep you on for hours identifying my marbles. So I really want to thank you for taking your time out today to join us.
I had a blast. And I hope everyone follows Christine. She always has awesome posts and
thank you.
finds.
Thank you. I think we're ready to sign off now.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. And
you too.
For watching.
Okay. Everyone have a great day, and thanks for watching.